So living alone could probably be one of the most terrifying things you ever do, but also one of the best things you ever do. Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to live alone. So this is an experience that I think most people experience and the majority also fear. And whether you're in a situation where you're currently living alone or you're going to be living alone, or maybe just looking into the future knowing there might be a time in your life you might be living alone, I think we all kind of have this fear of what will it be like. Like, you know, we grow up and very socialized. We grow up around people. We know how to be around people, and then when we're suddenly thrown into a new situation like this, it's kind of sometimes hard to be like, hey, what do I do? Because you're gonna have a lot of free time, let me tell you. So today I'm gonna be talking about the tips and tricks that personally have helped me and I think might help you as well. So my first tip, and probably like my most favorite tip, is to get a pet. Now, I know when I first moved into my apartment, I wasn't necessarily lonely because I lived in a dorm before. So I've been by myself before. And I had situations where I might not have roommates. So I was used to the whole being by myself. First starting to live by myself is I necessarily wasn't lonely, but I got to the point where I'm like, I just need something else living here. Like, I'd get up, I'd do my morning routine, I'd go through my day, and I'd be fine. And then come like late afternoon, I was just like, I'm bored. I need something else living here so I'm not feeling completely by myself here. So I actually got a cat, but this could be a dog, it could be a hamster or a fish if you're not maybe in a place financially where you could have a pet like a cat or a dog, or maybe your schedule wouldn't allow you to. Getting a goldfish, getting a hamster are all really good options as well, and it just gives you, like I said, it gives you something else there. And plus, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is like the best feeling in the world to be on your way home from work and knowing there's just a little soul waiting for you there. My second is routine. Routine, I think, is probably the biggest one in all this, especially like morning routines, night routines. Getting in a routine not only gives you something to look forward to each day, but it also kind of gives a sense of normalcy to your day. When you first start and you don't know what to really do, a routine really helps, just knowing, okay, when I wake up, this is what I'm going to do, or before I go to bed, this is what I'm going to do. It starts to establish a normalcy. It starts to get you comfortable with your space, and it really kind of just helps any stress levels or anxiety. Like, get a routine down that works for you. And it doesn't even just have to be a morning routine or a night routine. It could just be like a midday routine, maybe a cleaning routine, like some type of routine. You know, you had your life, whether you were in college or living with your family, and now you're on your own. You're in a whole new life stage, so therefore your routine's going to change, and just establishing a new way of your living situation is gonna help as well to establish your new place and your independence. Tip number 3 is create your own space. Now this is gonna look different for everyone. Make the space your own in some way. Maybe that's getting the pillows, maybe that's getting the decor, picking out your picture frames, picking out the plants you want. Just make the space your own that makes it comfortable, that makes it something you look forward to coming to every single day. My 4th tip is get out of the house. There is like a whole new set of people out wherever you move to, wherever you live. Go meet those people. Go to coffee shops. Go to new restaurants. Really explore your surroundings. Especially if you're in a new area, you're gonna find places that are only unique to that area. Go explore them. Make this town your own. You start to feel less like an island. My 5th tip is push yourself out of your comfort zone. So it can be kind of scary to go and try to meet new people, but push yourself out of your comfort zone. It don't have to be huge, but maybe just little things each day. Nothing big, nothing crazy, but just one little new thing each day, each week will slowly get you more and more out of your comfort zone as you go. 6, invest in your hobbies. This is also a huge one because, like I said, when you live by yourself, you have a lot of free time. So invest in your hobbies. And if you don't know yet what your hobbies are, find your hobbies. This is a perfect time to explore new things, try new things. I gotta say, once I moved out and I started living in this place, my YouTube channel, as you can see, started to go up. Like, I started to make more videos. I started to do more things. So really just invest in your hobbies. This is such a great time to get to know yourself and what you like, what you dislike, who you want to be, and really just embrace it. My 7th tip is know the difference between being alone and being lonely. They're very two different things that sometimes I think get mashed together. Being alone is simply knowing you're alone, but being okay with it. Being okay, you know what, I am alone right now and I'm comfortable with that and I'm okay with that. Versus being lonely and being sad. And I'm not saying it's not okay to be sad every once in a while, because you know, I think sometimes when you do live alone, every once in a while you do hit like, oh, I wish there was other people here, like kind of like that sadness. But prolonged loneliness, I guess what I'm talking about, is know the difference. Know the difference. Know when you need to maybe reach out to somebody, or because by knowing the difference between two helps you move on in your next steps. Because being alone and being lonely are two very different things, and both I think need to be recognized. My 8th tip is learn how to rely on yourself and to trust yourself. That, I would say, is probably one of the biggest drawbacks of being alone. Is having to make decisions by yourself. Like, yes, you could call up a friend and talk to them, but sometimes it's different when you don't have someone actually physically living with you that you can bounce ideas off, you can make decisions with together. But when it's just you really gotta trust yourself. That's one thing I'm still learning, is just trusting my decisions. Because it's so hard, I think, to just go from a situation where maybe people helped you make your decisions, and now here you are, you gotta make these decisions by yourself, and you gotta rely on yourself. You gotta tell yourself, you know what, it's up to me. Just learning how to trust yourself a little each day helps when you have to make those big decisions, saying, you know what, I am capable of doing this and I'm going to do it, and I'm gonna make mistakes along the road, but that is okay as long as I learn from them and continue on. And so, like I said, just learning how to trust yourself and knowing how to rely on yourself too. And I think too, kind of bouncing off of that, I find it helpful when it comes to relying on myself is knowing what I would do in a certain situation. Because I think there's always that anxiety, like what happens if this happens, what happens if this happens, you know, if you're the one dealing with it, it can be kind of scary. But telling myself, okay, if this happens, this is what I'm gonna do, or if this situation happens, here's how I'm gonna respond to that. And knowing how you're gonna respond or how you're gonna act to certain situations also just kind of helps and gives you that confidence to know that something does go wrong, you've already thought of a plan, you know how to handle it. 9, know your support group. And this is also another big one, is who do you call if something goes wrong? Who do you call if you know you are just having a bad day or you're feeling lonely? I do find when you live by yourself and maybe you are having some negative emotions, or you know, you might be a little lonely, you gotta make that effort to go and contact people. You gotta make that effort to go out and see people. They're not gonna come to you like when you're living with roommates. So don't isolate yourself. Know your support group. Know people you can call if something goes wrong, if you know you might be feeling a little down today, or just, you know, just to talk and have socialization with. But know your support group is also super big. People who can encourage you is just gonna make it so much easier to transition from maybe living with people to being by yourself. And then 10, and this is honestly, I think one of the most important tips, is appreciate it. Now, whether you're living alone by circumstance or by choice, appreciate it. Knowing that this might not be forever. Keeping that in mind. So say if you just really don't like living by yourself, this won't be forever. Appreciate the time you now have that you might not have had before. And really take this time to explore yourself, who you are, what you like, who do you want to be in society. And I think this is probably one of the most important points in your life. Not saying the important, but like one of the more important things, where you can really start to ask yourself, okay, who am I as an individual? And just really get to know yourself. I think we spend so much of our time getting to know other people. Now it's time to get to know yourself. See what you like, what you dislike, what you want to do. Realize the freedom you now have that you didn't have before. Getting to wake up and say, what am I going to do today? And just really appreciate it. If you're living alone right now and this is not for you, and you know, just keep in mind that this could just be only temporary, and that one day your situation won't look like this. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please leave comments down below, like any tips or tricks you might have. Thank you for watching. Bye!